Good night, blessings, and welcome to another episode of the All Over It podcast. Blessings and love. I appreciate you for joining today, episode 60. Who do you want to be? Yeah, today is June 22nd, 2026. Slowly creeping through the year. We already past half, and summer coming on. Trust me, you could feel it. The heat is on. Yeah. But as per usual, I have to welcome you back to another episode and thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the time, checking it out, and just know, as usual, I come here with something good for you. Value, you know? Yeah, good stuff. So welcome back. Today is another episode. I like today number 60. Nice round number. Don't make me feel like, right, climbing. Make me think on 100 when I see it. I check it. Wow, getting there by. Yeah, creeping up. Consistency is staying consistent. Consistency is the mission. Every week, I am here coming to deliver for you. Like I say, I bring in you value. We here uncovering it all. So 60 we at now, and I feel like soon we're gonna reach 100. I feel like blink twice and is 100 self. So yeah, man, God bless. That's all I can say. God bless. So like I say, today we here with a good one. I come here to talk to you. And the last few weeks we've been talking about investing, the markets, brokerage accounts, and IPOs, SpaceX, and all these different things. But I say today I wanted to have a conversation a little deeper because a lot of people reach out to me after the previous episodes with different questions. But I say it's only right for me to come on here and dive a little deeper. I also had a conversation this week, this past week, then I should say, that I'll say partially was part of the inspiration for doing this episode today, which, like I say, tie totally into my previous two episodes. So, episode 58 was all about IPOs and what are they. Talk about SpaceX IPO. I talk about some other like big IPOs that happened in the past, so let's say IPO history. And then episode 59 was your first investment starts here. Certain people reach out to me asking me what is a brokerage account, what broker they could use here, and so on. So I break it down in my last episode 59. I talk about what they are. I show you different options, even ones working here in St. Martin. Big up St. Martin one time. Anyways, I show you what's working, and I even pull up the charts, put in a trade, and then turn around, put in an investment to show you the difference, explain the difference. But we dive in a little deeper here today, like I tell you. So today, good stuff. Good stuff alone. So If I had to say, this episode isn't really about stocks. This episode isn't about trading. It's about decisions. You know, before you decide what to invest in, you have to decide who you want to be. So we can dive into it right now. The question most people never ask. A lot of people, they go to work, they pay bills, spend money, repeat. They never stop and ask, what am I actually building? What I actually doing with this money when I get it? Many people say, I want more money. I want freedom. I want success. But they never define what that actually really is, what that actually means for them. So if I could say plain and simple, you have to know your destination because the path does change depending on where you're trying to go. But you have to know your destination. As my father used to tell me, you have to know what you want out of life. You have to plan your life. So if you know you want a house, if you know you want a car, you have to decide for yourself what you want out of life and plan and go for it. You check. Same thing I hear telling you. You have to know your destination because things has changed in life. The path might swerve, shift, change up, but when you know your destination, you know where you're going. It's like a ship. It leave the dock, but it know where it's going. So even if the waters get rough and shaking and shivering, they know you gotta stay on course because they know where the destination is. They might pass and see other little islands or other little places they might want to stop at, but they know the destination is not there. They have to keep on going till they reach the end of that, till they reach that destination. Yeah. Basically saying, clarity doesn't just apply to business. It applies to life. You have to be clear about what you want out of life. You know? Good night, Rita. Blessings on that note. Blessings to my people. All the people tuned in. Anybody in the chat. Blessings and love. You don't know. But yeah, moving on. If we had to really dig deeper, like I say, ask the questions that most people don't ask themselves. A lot of people say, yeah, they want to start trading. They want to get into investing, but it's two different things. So if I had to dive a little deeper into that, investor versus trader, it's two different paths. A lot of people hear things and see things online and they think, a lot of people think investing and trading are the same thing, but it's not. Check. An investor, when you're an investor, your focus is on ownership, long-term growth, wealth building, and for sure, you have to have patience. You have to be patient because it's a journey. It ain't like today to tomorrow. So as an investor, your goal is building assets. Like I say, ownership. You own something. You know what it is? To say like, yeah, I own that. Just like how people say, yeah, I own that piece of land, I own that apartment, I the owner of that business. It's the same thing. When you invest in shares, stocks, ETFs, these different things, is ownership. You building assets under your name. Check. Versus now a trader, somebody who does trade. Your focus now is market movements, meaning you watching the financial markets. You watching how it moving. You watching for opportunities. You watching for income generation. But one main key thing is active participation. You gotta be in it. You gotta be paying attention. So looking at it, looking at what's going on, but you also gotta be paying attention for when what you looking for happen, you there. You ready to execute. So a trader more looking at generating cash flow, meaning you looking at, okay, I understand how the market working, and I know how to read if this stock or whatever chart I looking at going to go up or going to go down, and I have a good read to say, okay, it's going to be a big jump, meaning it's going to go up a lot, it's going to go down a lot, and just a little, is a you check. So the bottom line is a trader now focus is generating cash flow. You don't got no ownership. You just in and out. You maybe have it for some time. You know, ain't yours. It's just your turn. So you make your change, you're in and out, and you're gone. Good night, blessings, TM Jonathan. Hope all is well. My blessings to you. Check. So one thing I'll say is between an investor and a trader, neither one is right or wrong. It ain't to say like, yeah, if you're a trader, you don't know good, or oh yeah, you're an investor, but you wasting time. No. The question is, which one matches your goal? What you want out of life? So like I say, I bring back up the banner. Investor versus trader is two different paths. You gotta decide what you want for yourself. So if I have to share my screen, bring up my first little visuals, bap, enjoy the nice visual of this lake with these nice trees and things. Looks so peaceful and tranquil and serene. Yeah. Anyways, back to the point at hand. Yeah. So an investor versus a trader. Honestly, I have a lot of information about this. They have various videos, investor versus trader, what's the difference between trading and investing, trading versus investing, what's the difference. Trust me, I got a lot more videos, a lot of different web pages and articles about this. Like I say, this is really a thing. Like people really just have to sit down and think for themselves, like, which one am I? Or am I doing both? But understand that it's two different things, and you gotta understand the difference and know what you're going to do, what you want to do, and gain out of life. So to say it simply, an investor builds wealth over years or decades by buying and holding assets like stocks and funds, relying on long-term growth and dividends. Conversely, a trader seeks quick profits by frequently buying and selling assets over shorter time frames, ranging from minutes to weeks. So understand, when they say quick profits, it don't mean like, yeah, you're just trying to be in and out today, within minutes you out. Yes, they have people that do that, but ain't to say, yeah, all traders like that. No, they have some people that swing traders, whereas you holding something for like days, weeks, you know? So let me say nothing less than a few days, like 4 days. Of course, day traders are day, within the day you gotta, but now a swing trader holding it for a little longer. But yeah, like I say, a trader now rely heavily on technical charts and market momentum. Fundamental differences are the time horizon, the primary goals, analysis focus, different differences. Let me say like that. And like I say, they got different videos, but I want to move on to this investing and trading. What's the difference article on Investopedia? Any of my long-term viewers know this is one of my go-to sites. Check. So yeah, like it say, often words used interchangeably, but when used precisely, represent two distinct different approaches for those in the financial markets. Good. So now I ain't gonna get into all of that reading. I gonna just skip to the main point. Like I say, investing is about building wealth over time through the strategic acquisition and holding of assets. For most people, stocks, bonds, and shares in mutual funds and exchange traded funds, ETFs, like I mentioned, which is like a basket of stocks. Let me say like that. So one company just holding multiple different stocks and shares and different things. Good. And yeah, investors typically purchase and maintain a diverse portfolio of those assets, along with alternatives like real estate for years or even decades. Good. Even have some little quotes by different people and different things. So they have different types of investing: value investing, growth investing, investing with dollar cost averaging, meaning like trying to keep your average low by buying at different times. So, we know what averages are. We smart people, right? So same concept, you try to keep your average low so your cost is low. Check. Yeah. So now moving on. Trading. Close this. As it says, trading takes a fundamentally different approach to financial markets. Traders actively buy and sell financial instruments, stocks, bonds, commodities, currencies, options, futures, and other securities based on anticipated price shifts over relatively brief periods. Good. So, like I say, a trader buy and sell these financial instruments, and it lists different ones, like it says stocks, bonds, commodities, which are things like gold, silver, the different metals, oil, different things like that. Currencies, which is, your currencies, euro, yen, dollar, all these different, all the different ones that traded. Options, which is strictly for trading. They don't have like investment options, like they don't have options in investing. But yeah, options is a big thing in the trading world, and you see that's like unlocking a new level itself. But anyways, different things you could trade, and the idea is You're anticipating a price shift. You watching it and you saying for yourself, buy it at 100 right now, but I believe it's going to go up to 150. Let me put in a trade so I could capture some profits on that move. Simple. So yeah, like I say, thus they tend to analyze price charts in great detail, along with shifts in market sentiment and other short-term catalysts, also things that drive the changes, to identify profitable entry, buy-in, and exit selling points for their trades. Because they trade so frequently, traders must strictly manage their risks to avoid taking a large loss on any single trade. Yeah, so stop loss and thing you gotta manage. So that's one of the key things on the trading. You got to manage your risk. Check. Whereas a lot of the technical versus fundamental trading, the psychological challenges of trading, these different things. So yeah, all these things is real things. I recommend you to check out this article. But yeah, like I say, the difference is one thing for sure, a trader relies heavily on the charts and the movement in the market, but they rely heavily on risk management and timing. Timing is key when it comes to trading. But yeah, so like I say, neither one is right or wrong, but you got to know what exactly you want out of life, what exactly you want to do, you know? So yeah, see, my boy David in the chat, he did me. Pick up my boy David one time. I was a teller, me and my boy David is certified. Yeah, I don't think you can forget it at this point in time. Check. But yeah, so to kind of dive a little deeper, we talk about the dividend investor mindset. So, like, yeah, investor mindset, but dividend investor mindset specifically, you know? And like, I had an episode in my financial literacy series about dividend investing where I interviewed my uncle, Josias Williams. Shout out Uncle Josias one time. And his strategy is simple, simple and easy. Buy dividend paying ETFs strictly and hold them. Collect the income. Repeat. You check. Strictly dividend paying ETFs. So no single stock. So like I say, they have like single stocks. So like how I talk about SpaceX, like how we know they have like Amazon, they have Netflix, they have all kind of different companies, Coca-Cola, they have Nvidia, they have Meta, they have all kind of different companies that you could buy shares in. Good. But he don't buy no single stock, meaning like no single company. He strictly buys ETFs, which is exchange traded funds. A company decide, you know what? I like these set of companies. So like how you could go buy shares in one company, you could go buy shares in that ETF, whereas they have a basket of companies they are invested in. Check. So kind of like you buying into that basket. Check. Good. Like I say, my uncle Josias strictly like to the point, he does make sure reiterate it to me like, look, I doing this. I think this is what you should do. You gotta, you're on the path, but you gotta stick on it. Dividend paying strictly. You check and buy. These other things, then when you buy them, you gotta sell them to make some money. With the dividend payers, you don't have to sell your shares to make money. You're getting money, you're getting income back for having the shares. So like I said, my uncle strategy is simple. Buy dividend paying ETF, so shares and dividend paying ETFs, and hold them, collect the income, rinse and repeat. Check. And the process is simple. I actually showed last week on this podcast in episode 59. Your first investment starts here. I showed a demonstration of myself going into my Robinhood broker account and purchasing a share of the dividend paying ETF I was investing. Check. Yeah. If you want to see how it's done, you could go and check that video. But like I say, I will say like this. For example, so you could understand the process. When you decide you want to be a dividend investor, somebody who going to invest in dividend paying stocks or ETFs, like I say, companies. Your mindset is, okay, I'm going to get money back from these companies just for me holding the stock. So I don't have to sell the stock. I don't have to sell my shares in order to make some money. Every month, every quarter, every half a year, however the company does pay, faithfully, religiously, they will pay. Yeah, I could tell you, even when the market down, your dividend payments coming in like clockwork, just the same. Even when the same share, the same company that you invested in, when the price gone down, well, I mean like a significant dip. But like let me say, like for instance, I got the one that I buy in, QYLD. I buy into it when it was like $18 a share. They had a point in time when the market was down and it was like $16 and change a share. So it went down like $2. And like some people might think like, okay, yeah, the share price gone down, so your dividend payment going to decrease as well. But no, you're getting the same money, if not more. Especially like if you reinvesting and you're buying more, you're getting more for sure. But just so you can understand, like, ain't to say like, yeah, if the price was 20 when you buy it, but now it gone down to 15, that if your dividend payment was $1, now you're going to get 75 cents. Nah, top, you're going to get your money, the full money. You check? Why? Because that's just how it works. The company set aside, allocate some of their profit to pay shareholder. So even if the share price go down, that allocation is allocated. It's already on paper. It's already set in stone. So that is that. You check. They sign an agreement. Say, okay, look, we going to pay we shareholders this for having our share. This is the dividend payment for having our share. So that is that on that. Check. So, like I say, for example, you decide, you know what, I want to be a dividend investor. You put your dividend investor mindset cap on. Good. Example, if an ETF pays a certain amount per share, and you say for yourself, your goal is, let me say, $500 a month, you could reverse engineer. You could say, okay, how much shares I need, how much capital I need to invest, meaning how much money I need to invest to reach to that amount of share. And then you could say for yourself how long that will take. Meaning, if you say, okay, I'm going to invest 100 a month, and the capital you need to invest is, let me say, maybe 5,000 total. You know for yourself, okay, that's 50 months. Check. Yeah. So you set a plan, plain and simple. You check. One thing I could tell you, successful people, they just often reverse engineer their outcome that they want. Successful people often reverse engineer their plans so that they could see the outcome before it even reach. To the point they could see when it's going to come. Check. That's proper planning. That's vision. Yeah, straight up. You check. So, like I say, simple math. When we say you buying a share of a specific company, an ETF pay a certain amount per share. Let me say they're paying 50 cents per share. So that's 2 shares is $1. So now that means 200 shares is what? $100. Check. And then you gotta just consider, okay, how much shares, how much is the price a share? Let me say the price is $20. And like I say, you just reverse engineer just like that. So let me say maybe you buy your first share in a company and you see, okay, it pay you 65 cents for having exactly one share. You check, you could like do your cross calculation, cross multiplication, do your thing. Yeah, and figure it out. Set a plan for yourself, set a course so you could reach your destination. Like I say, successful people often reverse engineer the outcome that they want. So if I have to share a little more on that point as well, like I say, bring up the window. A dividend investor's mindset. A successful dividend investor mindset is rooted in long-term wealth building, business ownership, and income stability. They want this as a passive income, just like how people are set out to try and get apartments so that they could have that money every month. Same concept, stable income. Like I tell you, even when times hard, even when maybe your tenants move out, even when maybe your apartment building get damaged, so you don't got no tenant, you invest in your dividend in paying companies, you getting your money for sure. That's extra money every month, passive on a code. So like I say, rather than focusing on short-term price fluctuations or market hype, a dividend investor values steady compounding cash flow. So that's the key thing with a dividend investor, compounding. Because as you keep investing, your amount of shares grows, which also means your dividend payment grows, and it just keep consistently growing and growing and growing. You check compounding, and over time, it can just be like its own, like a snowball, like get away. It can just grow and grow and grow until like it just get away, like an avalanche come down. Avalanche of money in your pocket. You check. Yeah. So yeah, like I say, a lot of information on all of these different things as well. Dividend growth, investing, the closest thing to guaranteed investing success. The hidden reason dividend investors often outperform. The habit of a 10 million AUD, that's Australian dollar, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Australian dollar set. Yeah, the habits of a 10 million AUD dividend investor. So they got a lot of information about that as well. So you could check out, literally just type in dividend investor mindset, or yeah, could leave some links in the description after. But yeah, like I say, it's a different thing between an investor, especially a dividend investor, compared to a trader. The trader mindset is very different. When you're trading, you focus on income. Like I just say, investors is focused on wealth generation, long term, assets. Check. But now a trader, the mindset is chart analysis, opportunities, risk management, and active participation. Like I say, a trader can create income, but it requires discipline, education, and emotional control. And that's facts. Because now, like I say, active participation, you gotta be there. So that's discipline. It takes discipline. You gotta, just like how people that show up to go to the gym, they checking by going gym 5 days a week. Yeah, morning. Every morning I get up. I doing my run. However, it's the same discipline you have to engage with trading. Now, they have some people that have, like, let me say, maybe a lax discipline in the sense of like they ain't showing up all the time. They ain't, maybe they just end of the week come, they check in, yeah, let me see what the market's doing. They want to make a quick buck, jump into some trades, see how it goes. But like I say, most traders, they got discipline. They would tell themselves, okay, every day of the week, I get up early when the market open. I check in to see how the market moving, checking the news to see if anything come that might change or, affect how the market moves. And yeah, they do their thing. They throw in the trades, see how it goes. It takes discipline. You gotta be like consistent, just like this podcast, just like whatever you're doing consistently. It take consistency for sure. And like I say, education, you gotta know what you're looking at. You gotta know what you're doing. Like, I know most people, a lot of people, probably when I come on here and I pull up the charts, even not even just the charts, even when I pull up like the heat map, just showing like the green and the red of like how the S&P 500 look for today. A lot of people probably watching that chicken. What the hell is that this man showing me? But to those people, I could tell you for a fact, I can attest to this. Over time, it starts to make sense. You check? Yeah. In the beginning, it might look like just gibberish and like numbers and letters just floating, but I promise you, if you stick to it and educate yourself about it, it's going to come to you, it's going to click. A day going to be like, oh, that's what I be. That's what you've been showing me. That's what you've been talking about. Like, oh, that's what the time frame mean. That's what a candle is. Like, oh, I get it now. I tell you. But like I say, it takes education because even the new people, the young people that like, let me say, just getting into trading and maybe they're making money easy, quick. Even they had to educate themselves at least a little bit, at least to understand like, okay, the green mean good, up, the red mean bad, down, and I gotta understand when it going to change. Somehow, some way, they had to educate themselves on what they're watching and how to use it, how to manipulate it, how to work it so that they could just like in a casino when you okay, I know they don't pull the lever no more on the machines, but you know what I mean, it's like you pull the lever and ching, money out, So you gotta know. But we ain't a gamble. It's not a gamble. It's like knowing and understanding what's going on in front of you. I could tell you because these things does move as they should. Let me just say like that. Like it doesn't just be like by chance or by like these things is happen like as they supposed to. That's the simplest way I could say. Like so like with gambling with the casino is like chance. You it's a 50-50. You trying up a quad, you trying up a coin and you hoping it land on the side you want it to. But trading isn't a gamble. A lot of people look at it like it's gambling. Gambling with your money. Yeah, when you don't know what's going on with anything, it's a gamble. You know, if you don't know what you're looking at or what to do, anything you get yourself into is a gamble. But like I say, trading is not a gamble. And a lot of people watch at it like it is, but it takes discipline, it takes education, and it takes emotional control. Because like how they were talking about the psychology of trading in the previous article. They talk about psychological control, like revenge trading and over trading and overconfidence and all these different things. Like when it comes to trading, you literally have to keep your emotions under control because it's money on the line, So think on like how you'd feel if you lose some money, now or similarly, like when you go in a casino and your money on the table, you probably have a little slight level of fear or panic of what could go, what could happen, what could go wrong. But like I say, inversely, once you know what it is, once you know what you're looking at, what's happening, it's patterns. It's literally like an ebb and flow. Like just like the ocean, how it'll go in and go out, like how the waves does push in and push out is the same thing. Same thing. When they go up, it's going to come down. When it come down, it's going to go up. Anytime it go up too high, it just come down a little bit. Maybe a little lot. But anytime it go up high, it should come down. It's inevitable. What goes up must come down, but what goes down must go back up. That's how I see the market. Check. Yeah. So it's all about controlling emotions, knowing what you're watching, and staying disciplined. Because if you want to get your trades in, you gotta be there. You gotta be in the market. Like I say, active participation. Gotta be there. Gotta be doing it. Gotta find time. Whether it's by on the job and you're checking by, let me teach for a little quick chance and see what the market's looking like, putting a trade. I don't recommend that because a lot of people that want to monitor the trades, keep a track of what's going on, or make sure you use your stop losses and you take profits. You check. But yeah, so this is why I showed trading view last week. I show you what the charts look like. I never really touch on like indicators and these things, but all these things is things to help you see. I'll just say like this. I'll use the actual terminology. Indicators and understanding and the education is just there for you to see the signals, to see the signs. When you see the signal, it signal you like, okay, the move happening. You gotta be ready. Check. But now, even got trading bots and trading automation and so on. So yeah, I'm gonna lie, like I say, active participation, but you got like a trading bot and you automate your trading. Technically, you don't gotta really worry. As if you trust that, you gotta have a level of trust. But if you do, this is the new wave now. This is 2026. So yeah, AI. But even before AI, they had trading bots. They done been talking about trading bots and things because like it's simple. You just give it your strategy once it see the signal. Like I say, once the numbers and the parameters align, you can like, hey, things looking good. Time to jump in. You jump in and you get out. So like I say, trading is not gambling when you have a system. When you know how things working and you have a system, you're disciplined and you have a plan of approach, how you just approach it. You like I say, you have a system. So it's like, okay, once you see the signs, once the stars align, okay, it's time for me to come on down. Yeah. Check. So once again, let me just share a little more information on that. So the trader mindset is a disciplined psychological framework that prioritizes risk management, emotional control, and probability over quick profits. It requires detaching your ego from the outcome. Yeah, facts. Accepting losses as part of the process. Yeah, facts. And strictly executing a predetermined trading plan. So it's said out too because, like I say, some people just have like revenge trading and over trading because like maybe they lose a trade, meaning it went against them, it went not the way they planned, and they lost money. So they checking by, I gotta try and make that money back. So they try jump back in quick, but you won't do your assessment. If you was wrong there, you gotta sit back and check the feel again. You gotta assess, see where the mistake come in. How come you get that money? How come you lose money? And see, okay, how did I say? Regroup and come again. But a lot of people, after the first one go wrong, they're checking by. I gotta make that money back by. So they just jump back in. Maybe the opposite way. Or maybe the same way it like went against them. But then now maybe they're done. So then they go back up. Or sometimes maybe your first plan or what you thought it was going to be first was probably correct, but maybe it was a little early. So like it end up going the opposite way a little bit, but then still end up going back up the way you thought it was going to go. So like I say, you have to like detach your ego, accept that you're not always be right. You check and process these things properly and stick to the plan. Plain and simple, stick to the plan. If you tell yourself, "Bye, I can put in one trade a day or one trade a week." Let me say you tell yourself, "Bye, I want to be no day trader, checking charts every day and all these type of things. I can do like a week, a leap week, swing trader week." And you just come on one day, do your analysis, put in your trade, leave it right for the week. Like I say, same thing. Whatever your plan is, execute it. And similarly, a bunch of information about trading mindset. They even got a podcast on Spotify about it, but they have on YouTube a page, Trading Mindset, 15 years of trading psychology in 13 minutes. The trader mindset videos, bunch of different videos, the mindset of a millionaire trader. And yeah, a lot of different information and articles about said trading mindset and how the trading people learn to think. Like I say, it's psychological now. I study psychology in college now, and I just see it like rearing its head. You check. But anyways, like I say, trading is not gambling when you have a system. Check. Yeah. But yeah, to kind of start to wind down a little bit, I gotta give you the real lesson. The real lesson isn't about money. You check? Like I say, life, the same principles applies everywhere. If you're a business owner, decide what kind of business owner you are. If you're a farmer, decide what kind of farmer you are. If you're a consultant, decide what kind of consultant. If you're an investor, you have to decide what kind. Too many people want results without deciding on their direction. They just say, "I want this," but they don't know how they're going to get it. They don't create a plan. A person with a clear destination will outperform a person with endless options. Facts. Check. Once you're clear about where you want to go, how you want to get there, how you're going to execute, it's just now like following steps, putting things in place. Yeah. So yeah, that's a real lesson now. Like this ain't about like investing and trading strictly. This is about like a broader picture here, the big picture, you know? Like I tell you, my father always used to tell me, you gotta plan your life. You gotta know what you want out of life and go for it. Execute. Check. So I guess Pops saying my season of execution right now, cause we working, we doing things. I got plans, projects, tasks outlined on paper and being executed. I have reversed engineered, just like I said. Probably got certain things I still got to reverse engineer, but that's life. But trust, we living with intention, you know? We ain't just living life free, wherever the wind blow me. No, living life with intention. We have a plan and we executing it, you know? So, like I say, when you're living life with intention, just plan your life. I have to reiterate. My father always used to tell me this. Now I telling you, like, I can't say this is the thing that he tell me the most, but he used to tell me it a lot. You gotta plan your life. You gotta know what you want out of life. If you want house and car, then guess what? You gotta figure out how you're gonna get it. If you want Benz that costs $100,000, how you going to get that $100,000 to buy that Benz? A lot of people that said they said buy it. I like that car, but I want to buy one like that. But you never think to yourself like how you're going to get it. It's just like a pipe dream, just a fantasy, a facade, just a hope and a wish, you know? But when you really want something, you gotta plan for it. You gotta say to yourself, okay, I want a car. It costs 50,000. My job right now, I getting 1,002 before tax, maybe 1,000 after tax. So see, plan, budget, see if you could make it. See, like buy, okay, I could squeeze and pull a 200, 250 out and pay for this car. Got a plan. You check. So living with intention. Yeah. That's it. You gotta plan your life. You gotta set goals. Basically create a roadmap for yourself. Just like I show, you probably see certain businesses that are you like when they come out or when you see new things come out, they talk about a roadmap, how they going to get things implemented. Yeah, it's the same thing. Reverse engineer your outcomes. If you know, like I say, if you know you want to make an extra 500 a month, you figure out, okay, how much whatever service I doing, I have to do on the side to reach to 500 a month. How much of whatever product I selling, I have to sell every month to reach to $500 a month. What is okay? I selling a product for $5. I know I gotta sell 500 units a month. So if you want, you could split that up. If I want $500 at the end of the month, and I selling a product for $5, I only have to sell 100 units to make back my $500. Check. And like I say, you split it up 25 a week. That's doable. 7 days to do 25. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Check. From there, you just budget yourself. You figure out whether, okay, that's all profit, that's money you gonna touch, or okay, you gotta touch out of it to buy back, you know, inventory or different things. You gotta keep the ball rolling for sure. Make sure you keep the ball rolling. Check. But yeah, reverse engineer your outcomes. Plan. Reverse engineer what you want out of life. Plan your life. You check? And that ties into business, investing, and your personal growth. Same thing. A lot of people say they want to be healthy. And they check in, you know what? I can start going gym. They plan. They tell themselves, you know what? Most people who really start going like consistently and be disciplined about it, they sit down and they plan for themselves. They say, okay, if I really want to go gym, the only time I could go is after work. I just finish work 6 o'clock, and I know I gotta be home by 8 o'clock because I got different house duties. So I got 7 to 8, and you start planning from there. Maybe you might start and it might not be as consistent as you might want, but stick to it. And once you stick to it, you're going to see down the line, wow, look how far I come. Look what I do. Look how I have grown. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever task that be. Like I say, whether you're checking, you want to lose some weight, you want to just be a little healthier, you want to go gym, or you want to learn a new skill. Maybe you're checking, you know what, you're hearing all about this trading and investing thing. You want to start educating yourself about it, or you're checking and take a new certification course and get certified in something that you just do. Whatever it is, all of that is growth. That's a plan. You tell yourself, you know what, okay, I want to better myself in this aspect, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure do what I gotta do to get there. And once I get there, I know I level up. Plain and simple. For sure, for sure. Things ain't gonna always go according as planned. Life does happen, you know. Like we say with investing, the markets just change. In business, sometimes things just change. Some businesses just struggle at certain points. Things just happen. Life happens. You know, unexpected things happen. You know, but when you have a clear plan, when you clear on your destination, you could pivot without losing sleep, without losing your direction, you know. And I always think on like basketball players when I think on pivoting. Okay, you know, like they running with the ball, they bouncing, bouncing, but then when they stop, they can't just like run again. So they gotta like jump around on one foot, like kind of not really like jumping around on one foot, but like, you know, they gotta like spin around on one with one foot. They only could move one of their feet. They have to keep one planted, you know, pivoting. Just they staying in the same place, but they changing direction. Check. But yeah, you don't losing your direction. You know what your destination is. So you're sticking on it. You may change the route, but you don't change the destination. So check. Like I say earlier, think on it like you're setting out on a boat voyage, or even better yet, a lot of us, I know a lot of you, like flight. Everybody want to fly out. Yeah. So same thing. You tell yourself, what's the destination I want to go to? When you go on Expedia or Booking or whichever one you use, the airline websites, what's the first thing you're looking for? Your destination, where you going? That's what they're asking you. Where you coming from? Where you going? Destination. First, when you're going there. check. And then from there, you could start to figure everything else out, you know? But like I say, is the same concept. So, like I say, it's like you set out on a voyage on a boat. Let me say you leave St. Martin and you say you have to reach to the Netherlands on your sailboat. And you say, okay, yeah, try just go straight across. But then when you set out on that journey, it maybe got big storms and like a impassable route, let me say. So now you gotta like plan another route. You gotta pivot, like I say. The route might change, but you're still trying to reach to the Netherlands. So you might hit left, go a little more to United States, but then you turn back right after you clear all the rough waters and just still end up landing where you're trying to be, where you're trying to reach. Sorry. Same thing. Same thing with a flight. You know, like I say, you may change the route, but you don't change the destination. You tell yourself, you know what? I want to go Miami. You go, check out some flights. You see, okay, they got direct flights, good price. But maybe you don't got to change right now, the money right now. So you say, you know what? You're going to get the money next week. So you're going to come back on and check it out. But then maybe next week come and whether maybe that flight ain't available no more, maybe everything full, or maybe the price gone up. So now you can't afford. You didn't account for that. So you're checking by down in your budget. So you look for an alternative route. You check through the list and you see, you know what? You have a next one that have one connecting, but I don't mind a connecting for 30 minutes. I ain't coming off the plane, you know? So, like I say, the route might change, but you're still going Miami. You check? That's living life with intention. You know what a ultimate goal is. You know what a plan is. So you just chipping away at it. You just doing things to get to that goal. You know. So I want to leave you with a final message. I got speak directly to you, my viewer. What do you want? Who do you want to be? Do you want income? Meaning, do you just want more money at the end of the month, more money in your pocket? Do you want wealth? Meaning, do you want ownership or assets, long term wealth? Do you want ownership? Do you want freedom? Do you want that flexibility to say, you know what, I ain't going to work, I don't have to go work? Whatever it is, there is no wrong answer, but there must be an answer. That's for sure. You know, you have to know for yourself, who do you want to be? What do you want out of life? Where are you going? What journey have you set out on? Check. Like I say, you gotta know for yourself. You gotta answer those questions. There's no wrong answer, but there must be an answer. You have to know what you want out of life. You have to know, who do you want to be? Maybe I should say it like this. What do you want to be remembered by? Check. So in closing, I could say, you don't have to know everything. You just have to know where you're trying to go. You have to know where you're going. Check. Like I say, this episode wasn't really about stocks. It wasn't really about ETFs. Yeah, I talk about those things, but it wasn't about trading, it wasn't about those things. It was about making a decision in life. Because once you decide who you want to become, your actions just begin to align. Your habits just begin to align. The things you invest in begins to align. And when I say investing, I mean like financially and time wise. Check. But your opportunities just begin to align once you decide who do you want to be. So yeah, you gotta ask yourself, who do you want to be? What are you building? What future are you investing in? You know? And the sooner you answer those questions, the faster your life going to change. So yeah, all I could tell you is go out there and execute with excellence. Do what's right for you in a way that's pleasing to the Father God in heaven and in service to the people who He put you here to serve. Check. And with that, that's all I gotta tell her. One thing I gotta say, happy Father's Day, happy belated Father's Day, happy past Father's Day, however you want it. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, the soon to be fathers, the people playing father role, all that good stuff. All the people that they are present. Yeah, happy Father's Day. You check. Blessings and love going out to all you. Check. Yeah. Yesterday, Father's Day, I ain't gonna lie. Think a lot about my father. I guess as expected. But no, we hold it firm as per usual. Um, yeah, thought a lot about him. Had some conversations about him over the weekend, and it made me think back. So I had to post some pictures. Went down memory lane. Was thinking back on my graduation when I graduated and received my bachelor's degree in computer science. Yeah, that was a good day, a big day, and my family come to Miami, come visit, come to my graduation. And honestly, the one thing I could always say about that day is that was my father graduation. That wasn't my graduation. Yo, this man celebrate, right? Like as if it was his graduation. I myself, like I self was saying, like, like when your child graduate and like they celebrate so wild and so like free that you as a parent gotta like try to keep them under control, try, like be the responsible one and be like, yo, hold it on, be yo, hold it on. Yo, roles reverse self that day. Tell you, don't lie. Tell you that was his graduation, and that wasn't my graduation. Hmm. Telling you, good times, good time, good memories. By think back about when we went on a helicopter ride to Miami, and we went airboat riding in the Everglades, and yeah, man, we do things now. Me and that man, yeah, bye. Me and senior, hey, we do things now, buddy. I'm telling you, man. From my little boy, we doing things. We going fishing. We had fish pot. We used to go diving conch. We used to go picking wilk from the rocks. So I live a true island life. I tell her it already. Really and truly, in my episode one, all over it podcast, episode one, I break down all of that. I like, I give you the real Oliver. I break down Oliver from start to finish. Yeah, I break me down from a little boy up to now. My parents' influence, school, all kind of thing. I break down in that episode. Check. Getting to know me. And I talk about the podcast structure too. How I would have structure it. Which I kind of change up a little bit. I used to do like motivational messages in the beginning. Like before I dive into like the topic, I'd like give like a motivational message. I'll always have like a little message in the beginning, like maybe a minute, 2 minute message. And yeah, all that changed. But as I see it, like to me, the whole episode will be motivation. So one more motivation message I gotta do, and then all of that taking away the time for me sharing the information and the content. And trust me, even that we doesn't have enough time sometimes. You check, look, last week we went over 2 hours. That way this week for sure we ending all, good. I just like no, check. But yeah though, I just gotta say, blessings and love my people. I gotta big up my mother one time. Blessings and love to Mary, right of Williams. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you don't know. Like I say, big up all the fathers out there. I hope I had a good Father's Day. I hope they treat you good because we always treating them good. Nobody don't study we. Just saying. Like it's always, yeah, big Mother's Day this and yeah, big that celebration and yeah, celebration for the woman and but celebration for the child, buy this gift and boy, they coming up and party bag and boy. I hope somebody say bye, look, you fella, I rate you. You don't work hard. I rate your work ethic. I rate your drive. You're a responsible, disciplined man, and you're a good role model and leader to the people and youth in your life. Come, let me do something nice for you. Let me bring you out, spend a little money on you, because you probably always doing it for everybody. So yeah, I hope you get some type of treat, something, whether it's a cupcake, they come help you blow it out, whatever. Some type of sentiment, some type of remembrance of you and your hard work that you put in. You check, blessings and love. And I gotta say, big up and shout out and a happy Father's Day in heaven to my father. I was seeing you. Big up he one time, two same ways. As a real general. You tell you don't care what nobody say. As a general, yeah. Top man. Top class. Yeah. Straight. Brains ourselves. Telling you. All these things that be here talking to I. All these reverse engineer and all these things. He real talk. A man was good now. Put together plans, build house, build apartments, build all type of property and structure and road. I keep mentioning he was the president of the Mid Region Community Council when they fixed the Mid Region Road. And look, up to now, that road is still in great shape compared to all the other roads on St. Martin. Ha! Come on, man. But look, big up all of us senior one time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bless up. But yeah, big up on yourself for another episode. Being here, rocking with me. You don't know, we does always uncover it all. I here to show you the way, help you, guide you. Check. I like that. I like that. This attracted you. Blessings. Glad to have you. Big up Ray one time in the chat. But yeah, like I say, I hope I had a blessed Father's Day. I wish I had a blessed week ahead, productive, blessed, no stress, like we know the devil will be busy, but we too blessed to be stressed, and we too blessed to be brought down and kept down and bring down and all them type of down. Is up, we moving. Yeah, uppity. Yeah, real talk. So like I say, today was episode 60. Who do you want to be? All over it podcast. We uncovering it all. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like it, share it, sing it over the moon. All over it podcast. Good stuff. Good stuff alone. Check. Want your sense? Want your upliftment? Come to this podcast. Catch me here next week and every other. God's here. God bless. Every Monday, 7 p.m. We right here. So, on that note, my people, I love you. Like I say, hope you have a blessed week ahead. And you can catch me here next week for another one. Okay, good. Yeah. Big up on yourself one time. Blessings. Peace. Love alone.